Holy crap, Marvel fans, breaking news. Kevin Feige has snapped a bunch of leakers out of existence. In an absolutely unprecedented move, Marvel Studios has actually filed lawsuits in attempts to get the identity of certain leakers and shut down one of the biggest subreddits on the planet. And that subreddit, the Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit, which had almost 1 million followers, is now gone. So what exactly happened and what's going to happen from here with regards to leaks and rumors and scoops? I'm going to be breaking it all down in this video. So smash a gosh dang like, and holy crap, let's get into this. So first up, let's break down like what actually happened. It really all happened at once yesterday. It was a fury. I saw some articles begin to pop up that Marvel Studios and Disney was actually filing lawsuits to get the identity of certain Reddit users. And I was like, whoa, what is this? And so when you look into what the lawsuit is actually for, it is about the leaking of actual property of Marvel Studios, mainly the script for Quantumania written by Jeff Loveness. Now, this is a leak that we covered a week or two before the Quantumania movie came out. We did a big video about this, and what that leak was a Google document which appeared to have the translations that somebody was doing for Quantumania for either Portuguese or for the Brazil market, which I think still speaks Portuguese. It was essentially the subtitles, like what you would go see in one of these other markets, because the movie would be in English, and then you'd have the subtitles at the bottom explaining what it was. And so somebody leaked this to the moderation team over on the Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit. They translated it back into English, it seems like, and put it out there. I wasn't fully aware of like exactly what was going on, but the big thing, the thing that's really important to keep in mind is that this was a leak of actual material from Marvel, like that actual script, the actual dialogue for the film. That's their actual stuff. So what it appears like happened was somebody that was working for Marvel Studios to do one of these translations ended up leaking it to this massive Reddit community via Google Documents, and now Marvel Studios is suing Google. So the lawsuit is actually for Google to reveal the identity or the information about who actually uploaded that, and they're also trying to subpoena Reddit in order to get Reddit to reveal the names of some of the moderators over on the Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit. And so essentially what happened was the people over there on the subreddit basically panicked. The moderation team made one last post about it and then privated the Reddit, shut it down, and I believe all of the mods have now left. So it's something like a ghost subreddit that doesn't actually appear publicly at all on the Reddit website. And the moderation team and the people that created that subreddit, they did this because they don't want to be subpoenaed. They don't want to have to deal with any of the legal backlash from this lawsuit, from maybe Reddit trying to put their identity out there. And so they have essentially all abandoned ship. And I think from their perspective, they're hoping that Reddit and Google and maybe Disney are not going to like push this too much further to try and, get their actual identities. So that's what has happened. That's where we're at for now. It'll be interesting to see if, again, any of these names actually get revealed, if Marvel's really trying to do that, because the person that either signed the NDA or the person that signed up to work for Marvel that had this, that leaked it, they're probably in breach of contract. They've broken the rules. They might even be able to be held financially responsible. Now, I've seen some speculation online where some people are saying the reason they did this for Quantumania and not all these other projects is because Quantumania is underperforming at the box office. So therefore, Marvel may be able to show that they actually had damages associated with this leak. Now, I frankly think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think the movie sucks. I think the movie's terrible, and that's why it's not making the money that it otherwise could have. The word of mouth on this movie is horrible. The film is tied for the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score in the entire 32 film catalog of Marvel Studios. A leak talking about some dialogue several weeks before the movie is not why that movie's not making money. However, it is possible that Marvel sees this as an opportunity to be able to take advantage of the fact that there could at least be some damages brought up in court to justify the lawsuit, they can then go after this person legally. So maybe that's what's going on, but I don't necessarily think that that's actually what's going on. That's kind of conjecture. Here's what I will tell you. You know, obviously I've been in the scooping community, the leaking community for some time. I know a lot of scoopers. I know a lot of leakers, a lot of people that work for Marvel or Disney that spill stuff to me and ask me not to talk about it. And I would never reveal my sources. I would never do that. That's just not how things work. I don't sign NDAs. I don't really talk about copywritten stuff. I don't show copywritten stuff in any of my stuff. But here's what I will tell you. It has been the case for a long time that Marvel Studios, and apparently Kevin Feige himself, actually despises leakers and scoopers. And look, that's his prerogative. It's absolutely fine to feel that way. But I've even been told that Feige hates leakers so much that he'll actually change something in a movie. If a big thing is supposed to happen and it leaks out, sometimes he'll change it just to make the leakers and scoopers look bad. Now, that might seem crazy. I don't know if it's verifiably true, but I've heard it for some pretty reliable folks. The bottom line is Marvel Studios hates leakers. They despise them. They fired the one guy that was doing translations for Spider-Man No Way Home. Remember, there was like a leak that came out proving that Toby was in it or something. They fired that guy, right? So they're actively out there trying to like scare people and hunt down people that do leaks. Now, one of the other things that's really weird is there's also some other lawsuits going on right now and some other drama going on where like Marvel Studios seems to be bullying all of these VFX houses. And the VFX houses are also leaking things to different outlets. I think Puck is one of the main ones that's talking about this. They continue to run a lot of reports. The last one was pretty damning. It was like, we attribute this to human greed, and they had a source that works at a VFX company, a big one that does a ton of business with Marvel, and Marvel's apparently very aggressive. They bully them, and it's not a good look, right? So I don't know what the full truth of that whole story is, but I say it and I bring it up because it seems like what Marvel is trying to do is put fear and sort of clamp down on different types of people that would be leaking information or actual, information about movies to anonymous sources, journalists, etc. So I think the reason this is happening, like the real reason, is that it's just an opportunity that Marvel has. The Marvel Studios spoilers subreddit flew a little too close to the sun with this one, in my opinion. They literally put out actual dialogue from the actual script for Quantumania weeks before. I mean, I remember even doing my video and I refused to put any of the script on the screen. I didn't even repeat any of the dialogue that was in the script, and I instead chose to just talk about a few main points that are hinted at within the dialogue, because even I was like, that's way too crazy. Like, it's way too crazy to actually post the actual dialogue and to just have this thing out there for everybody to just like look at, before the film came out. So I think Marvel just saw an opportunity to do this. Disney, of course, is in the business of controlling the narrative, and they want to put pressure and fear into people that are talking about their stuff or even talking about their negative business practices to sources, journalists, etc. So that's what is happening. The question then becomes, how is this going to affect leaks, rumors, and scoops moving forward? And I think it will have an effect. I think that's just bottom line 100% true. And that subreddit was generally just great at aggregating where all of these other leaks and things come from. But now, a lot of those leakers have sort of jumped out of the Reddit world and are now on like Twitter, Instagram, their own Patreons. Like, can we get some toast? My time to shine. Hello. These people essentially blew up because of that Reddit, but now they have their own following outside of Reddit. And I don't expect them to stop doing leaks or spoilers anytime soon. They may choose to be a little bit more hesitant with the information that they put out there, but that subreddit was mainly just an aggregator. However, the exact example with the Quantumania script was an example of sources going directly to that moderation team vetting the source, and then deciding to run with the scoop or the leak. So there absolutely were some leaks that have come out directly from that moderation team, and that's just not going to happen anymore. Those people are not going to be doing that anymore. If they do, they'll do it elsewhere. So it will affect the scooping and leaking community. I do wonder what exactly this will look like moving forward. I still think you're going to get rumors, rumblings. There's all sorts of outlets that are in the business of breaking stories about Marvel. But I think the difference between the subreddit and people like Charles Murphy or the Diz Insider or the Direct is that they have relationships with the studios, and PR people from Disney can contact Charles Murphy, and I know they have done this before, or like Charles will have conversations with them behind the scenes, and Disney has control of the narrative and the information that these other people are going to put out there. They did not have that with Reddit. Like, Reddit didn't give a fuck. Like, Reddit wasn't trying to have a relationship with Disney. They were just trying to like put information out there, right? So I think you might get a little bit more of a controlled drip of the leaks and of the information. And this might shock some of you guys, but I actually am not that upset about that, okay? So I kind of want to now shift into talking about like the ethics of scooping, leaking, and like, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for the channel? Because of course, I follow a lot of these leaks and rumors, and I talk about a lot of this stuff. And I think it might surprise some of you to know that I actually wouldn't mind if leaks got a little bit more vague and maybe even a little bit more spread out and a little bit sparse. Because my favorite thing is taking a rumor, taking a piece of information, taking a leak, and then sort of, triangulating it with other information and leaks and speculating on what it could all mean. I mean, sometimes somebody at Marvel will leak something and they think it's completely innocuous, but my super nerdy comic book brain is like, oh shit, that's that character from this book back in the day that's connected to this. That means Marvel's actually doing this, right? So for me, that's really where the fun and the juice comes from, is the speculation. And in the past couple of years, leaks have gotten to the point where there's not a lot of room for speculation. It's like, oh no, this is what it is. And I've found myself being like, okay, I want to be accurate. I don't want to put out misinformation. I don't want to lead people astray. Therefore, I'm not going to be able to speculate on something if I know pretty much it's not actually true. So it's restricted my ability to make fun, speculative content. I actually wouldn't mind if the leaks became a little bit more rumory, if they were a little bit more vague, and then we had to fill in the gaps ourselves. That's really what I like to do. So I think, my honest take, guys, is like, I understand leaking and scooping is an interesting thing. It feels like there was a time when people were like, oh, wow, like leaks are real. This is really crazy. And now we might be in a little bit more of a place where people are like, I don't want to know. Keep that stuff away from me. I've changed some of the way I cover this. Like, I try to keep the streams really spoiler free. And I try to very, very clearly label videos that talk about leaks or spoilers or rumors as such, so that people don't get spoiled. Because it's kind of a fine line, right? There's a difference between hearing all these rumors, keeping track of all these reports, and speculating on what it all means, and then literally being told, oh, no, like, I saw the movie, here's exactly what happens. That's different. It's not as fun. It's not as enjoyable. I don't think it's as cool of a thing to do. So it's a weird, I guess, time for that kind of content and for leaks moving forward. I don't know what this will look like. I still think you'll probably get plenty of leaks, plenty of spoilers, plenty of rumors, but maybe there's a little bit more room for speculation now. It is also, of course, possible that this pressure coming in from Disney might scare off potential leakers and scoopers, might scare people from Marvel from wanting to share that information. But again, I want to bring up the VFX thing, because there is something to be said for employees or people that are like literally being mistreated by Marvel Studios that want to break their NDA in order to get that story out there. That is still something Marvel doesn't want. And so I know many of you guys are probably like, dude, this is great. No more leaking, no more scooping. Like, let's destroy that. Let's get rid of it. I would just urge you to think about what other things this might affect. And it could be the case that Disney is really just trying to scare people, no matter what their situation is, from telling the truth about circumstances going on behind the scenes. That's kind of a scary thought. But make no mistake, this is incredibly big news. This was one of the biggest subreddits on Reddit. It was massive. It was an institution in many people's lives. Like, a lot of people people went to this subreddit to just learn about the information, to talk about what's going on with Marvel. It was crazy. It's really weird to go on Reddit and not have that subreddit there right now. So pour one out for the homies over there. And if anything else happens with this story, I'm going to report on it. I'll talk to you guys about what's going on, like if they actually track down some names or whatever. We'll see. Also, I got a lot of questions about this on Twitter. I tried to like address the most prevalent ones in the information that I put into this video. But if you have another question about this, like put it into the comment section. I'll try to answer in the comment section, or I'll talk about it on one of our live streams. So smash a like on this video. And again, pour one out for the Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit. And if you want to watch more, why not check out this video I just did talking about Venom 3 leaks and the crazy possibility that Sony is creating yet another Spider-Man.